Welcome to Market Talk. I'm Amber Lancaster here with Paul Mampilly. Today's update is for the week of February 17th, 2020. A special note that we are recording this video on Friday, February 14th, as our offices will be closed on Monday, February 17th in observance of President's Day. So I'll begin by previewing the big economic releases, my innovation story of the week, and the latest developments in America 2.0 and the fourth industrial revolution. Let's begin. So January retail sales matched estimates, rising 0.3%. The results show the U.S. consumer is solid. As this table shows, based on seasonally adjusted dollar levels, we're seeing a steady uptick in retail sales excluding autos, both month over month and year over year. And as Bloomberg framed it, it's, quote, steady demand at retailers indicates the consumers that remain the economy's key fuel source. Resilient hiring and wage growth are helping to boost both sentiment and spending. Economists forecast household outlays to increase in the first quarter at about the same pace as the end of 2019, end quote. So for the week of February 17th, there will be 6 major releases. On Tuesday, February 18th, Empire Manufacturing for February will post at 8:30 a.m. On Wednesday, January housing starts and PPI final demand month over month for January will both post at 8:30 a.m. And on Thursday, the January leading index reading will post at 10 a.m. And on Friday, February's preliminary market U.S. manufacturing PMI release and January's existing home sales will post at 9:45 a.m. and 10 a.m. respectively. Now for my innovation story of the week, the $12 billion 3D printing market is on a tear. The market is projected to be valued at $50 billion by 2025, and a new breakthrough discovery by scientists at Switzerland's EPFL have found a way to 3D print whole objects in mere seconds, according to Engadget. So when we think of 3D printing, we may imagine structures being built one layer at a time. However, the EPFL scientists have developed a method that, quote, draws on the principal tomography, the technique of displaying a representation of cross sections through a solid object using X-rays or ultrasound. So as seen in this video, to make an object, a photosensitive resin is illuminated from multiple angles with the accumulation of light helping to solidify the resin. So in other words, the object forms a solid structure within the resin in just one take, one go. So rather than segment by segment, as is the case with traditional 3D printing. So this discovery, in my opinion, Paul, is just incredible. It's extremely cool and it's groundbreaking. So moving on to our America 2.0 update, another recent Gallup poll revealed, and I quote, 61% of Americans say they are better off than they were 3 years ago, a higher percentage than prior election years when an incumbent president was running. So in 1992, 1996, and 2004 election cycles, exactly half said they were better off. So in 3 separate measures during the 2012 election cycle, an average of 45% said they were better off. Relatedly, 52% of U.S. adults say it's easier for them to go and buy things in the stores than 3 years ago, higher than in 1992, 1996, and 2004 election cycles when figures were closer to around 40%. Next, a newly released report from First American Financial Services, a title insurance company, shows that U.S. housing will likely withstand future recessions. The report predicts that, quote, when the next recession comes, and the predictions are that this will not happen anytime soon, the U.S. housing market is unlikely to take much of a hit. The report calls data from the National Association of Realtors and Freddie Mac to show how the housing market has fared during most economic downturn cycles. So in many cases, home prices, they showed an appreciation, and that appreciation continued at the end of even when this at an even pace. So I think this is just great news overall, especially in our America 2.0 update. That's it for me, Paul. Tell us what you are watching for this week.
Well, first of all, Amber, happy Valentine's Day. I can
Yes.
see you're dressed up early for your hot Valentine's Day with your husband. You've got your beautiful brooch on,
Thank
and you
you.
look beautiful as usual.
Aw.
uh, Everything, as I was just listening to what you were saying, which is that economic growth, when it is above a certain level, really does have a distributive impact of being able to lift so many people's incomes up. So, and then as a result, being able to afford more things more comfortably. And that is what we are seeing. And that's what these polls represent. And that's very much a part of what we have been telling people for several years now, which is the housing market is solid. And there's a reason for that. The housing market is solid because millennial generation is now coming into its own. It has money. It
Mhm.
does have its own preferences. It does have its own choices. However, they are going and remaking America. There is a housing boom that is going on, Amber, in the
Mhm.
South and in the Midwest and the middle of the country as people are exiting the more expensive markets on the coast.
Mhm.
And that's very much part of the America 2.0 revolution and the fourth industrial revolution. Because if you look at the heart of American making of things, it's still in the center of the country.
Mhm.
And as more jobs start to come back from China, and we start to implement exactly what you were talking about, 3D printing, robotics, and all of these new modern ways of making things, CAD CAM design, all of these really phenomenal technologies that are cheaper, more convenient, more environmental in terms of their use. This is the fourth industrial revolution. This is America 2.0. And it's not something that is going to happen. It's happening now in front of you. Just go around and notice things and you will see it. And one of our services where we really focus on young companies, it's like getting in on Microsoft or Amazon or Netflix very early on. This is my Extreme Fortune service.
Mhm.
Small cap companies, in other words, small capitalization companies under $3 billion. And we've got already some phenomenal winners in there. I was just looking at the portfolio yesterday. We've closed out winners like Foundation Medicine in excess of 500%. We had, I believe it was 400% on a biotech company called Arcule. And we've got open gains of 400, 300, and multiple 100% winners. And that's because this is perhaps the best period in my life in the markets for innovation-based companies. Phenomenal period because people want new solutions. People want new ways of doing things. People want the fourth industrial revolution. And last week we got a beautiful email from a kid in Arkansas,
Mhm.
and I loved what he wrote. Amber, he said, "I'm looking forward to America 2.0, to living in
Yes.
America 2.0, and you know
Mhm.
what, Jack? So are we. So
Yes.
are we." And if you want to get in on America 2.0, on some of the companies that are going to be remaking it, click on the strong hands above. That will take you to a page that will take you to for all the details to get in on our Extreme Fortune service. So strong hands above, click on that, and that will get you to all the details. I'm still bullish, Amber, still optimistic, still positive. BOP, that's my hashtag that I created on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Mampilly Guru. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, give Market Talk a thumbs up. Tell us what is the most tangible form of America 2.0 that you are seeing as you go around. Let us know down there. And with that, back to you, Amber.
Thank you, Paul. Great insights as always. Thank you to our watchers for tuning in. And as Paul mentioned, happy Valentine's Day, because we are recording this on Valentine's Day. Have a wonderful day with you and yours. And until next time, everyone, take care.